Hi everyone, this is Laelie again, and I'm narrating from the patch 4.3 PTR, and this is the Innominatus guide to the Yor'sahj the Unsleeping encounter in the Dragon Soul raid. Today I'm going to outline our strategy for the 10-man Yor'sahj the Unsleeping encounter as it is currently on the PTR. This fight is by no means complete, and any or all of the encounter strategies or abilities may be changed before the fight is ready for the live realms. This video footage was captured in a PUG, but it shows all of the abilities used and follows the strategy very closely. Yor'sahj the Unsleeping is the second boss in the Dragon Soul raid. He resides within the Maw of Ruin, which is just outside the Wormrest Temple. To reach him, you and your raid must talk to the bronze dragon inside of the temple. After speaking with the dragon, you will then fly to the Maw of Ruin, parachuting commando style, and then land in a safe area inside. Your raid will quickly notice all of the globule trash patrolling around his room. The trash in this room has similar abilities to the adds in the boss encounter. Once the trash is dead, you face Yor'sahj. In 10 man, your raid will need 1 tank, 2 to 3 healers, and 6 or 7 DPS. We will be using 2 healers because there is only small amounts of time when any burst healing is required, and most of this damage can be mitigated through the use of raid-wide cooldowns. If your healers are struggling to keep everyone alive and your DPS is solid, your raid may wish to use 3 healers. This is a one-phase encounter with many different transitions based on the globules that are spawned throughout the fight. I will go into greater detail on the different types and combinations of globules that are spawned. Here is our encounter strategy. Yor'sahj will use a primary ability called Void Bolt. This ability will hit your tank for 90,000 shadow damage and 5,000 damage every 2 seconds after that. This ability does stack. Periodically, Yor'sahj will use Call Blood of Shaman, which summons 3 colored globules. The globules spawn in different directions in the room which correspond to the color of the globule. There are 6 different possible types, in which 3 spawn is chosen at random. These globules will slowly move toward Yor'sahj, who should be positioned in the middle of the room. It is your raid's job to kill these globules before it reaches Yor'sahj. Each of the different type of globules grants Yor'sahj a different ability when he absorbs them. Only one of the globules may be killed during Call Blood of Shaman, as once the first one dies, the others will become immune. It is also important that if more than one globule is being attacked, if they are below 50%, each of the other globules will be healed for 5% of their maximum health due to an ability called Fusing Vapors. Here is a list of all 6 colors of globules and the abilities they grant Yor'sahj. Number 1 is called the Glowing Globule, and its color is yellow. When Yor'sahj absorbs the yellow globule, it causes him to use Void Bolt on the entire raid, it causes him to use his abilities twice as often, and causes him to attack 60% faster. The second globule is called the Cobalt Globule, which is the color blue. When Yor'sahj absorbs the blue globule, it causes him to summon a Mana Void. The Mana Void will leech all mana from every ranged caster and healer. However, when the Mana Void is destroyed, every caster within 18 yards of the Mana Void will have their mana returned to them. The third globule is called the Crimson Globule, which is colored red. When Yor'sahj absorbs the red globule, it causes him to inflict 35,000 fire damage to 3 random raid members. However, this damage increases the further from the boss the raider is. The fourth globule is called the Dark Globule, which is colored black. When Yor'sahj absorbs the black globule, it causes him to summon Forgotten Ones. These small adds will randomly target raiders and use Psychic Slice, which deals 35,000 shadow damage to their current target. The fifth globule is called the Acidic Globule, which is colored green. When Yor'sahj absorbs the green globule, it causes him to use Digestive Acid on the raid. Digestive Acid deals 60,000 nature damage to a player and their allies within 4 yards. The sixth and final globule is called the Shadow Globule, which is colored purple. When Yor'sahj absorbs the purple globule, it causes him to use Deep Corruption on every raider. Deep Corruption causes every 5th healing or absorption effect to trigger an explosion that deals 50,000 damage to all players. With these abilities in mind, here is a priority system of which add to kill in any situation. First is purple, then yellow, then green, then blue. Now, the reason that red and black are not listed is because they are the lowest priority adds, and they will never be chosen to be killed out of the group of 3, so they are purposefully left out. Here's the basic strategy for each add. Purple is always killed first, regardless of whatever combination your raid receives. Yellow will force your raid to stack together and use raid cooldowns if they're up. The void bolts as well as the tank damage will be severe and will require massive healing. Green will require your raid to spread out so that everyone is at least 4 yards apart. This will prevent the splash damage from hitting anyone. However, blue is a special case. If blue is absorbed, it is important that all DPS switch to the mana void as soon as it spawns. Healers and tanks should use individual or raid cooldowns before their mana is gone to ensure that no one dies while the mana void is alive. All DPS should make killing the mana void their highest priority, and this is especially important for physical DPS as they will be unaffected by the mana draining ability. Casters and healers should wait until their mana is fully drained and then use whatever mana regeneration abilities are available to them. This will ensure that they will have some mana available in order to kill the mana void and heal. When the mana void is around 30% health, every caster and healer should stack near it so that they are in range to have their mana returned when it is destroyed. Red and black are easy cases in that all the raid needs to do is stack together behind the boss in order to raid heal and kill the forgotten ones. Here are some possible combinations of globule colors that are going to be more challenging for your raid than others, that may require special strategies. Number 1. Yellow or green, and blue. If blue occurs with either yellow or green, make sure that your raid uses raid cooldowns to survive. Tanks should use personal cooldowns as well, and it is especially important that the mana void dies as quickly as possible in this case. Number 2. Red and green. This combination can be tricky. Each raider needs to make sure to stand 4 yards apart from one another, but must also stand as close to the boss as possible. We found that a semicircle around the back of the boss works well in this situation. Number 3. Red or green, and yellow. This combination will require a massive amount of raid healing. The main difference between red and yellow and green and yellow is that the raid must stack up for red and yellow and spread for green and yellow. Raid healing is extremely important in both cases. This rotation of different colored globules will repeat throughout the fight until Yor'sahj dies. The fight is very much dependent on your choice of add to kill and handling the remaining abilities Yor'sahj gains. Some raids that are more range caster heavy might prefer to kill blue over green and yellow, while physical damage heavy raids might leave blue for last. It will depend on your group composition, but find whichever combination of events works well for you. Heroism is best used at 40% in this fight as well. I will let the rest of the fight play out so that you can see the boss's abilities in action. Yor'sahj is a dynamic encounter with lots of options for your raid to follow. Once your raid has mastered the combinations, he will die in very short order. Put on your Sunday dresses and have fun.